any episode of Invincible, when you sit down to watch it, can feature literally almost anything and still be an invincible story.
So arrogant, just like your father.
Mr. Kirkman, thank you very much for being here in Blue Radio. And the first question is about the world of Invincible. This is a thing, that topic that you wanted to put on Invincible stories that you couldn't.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think that, on a long enough timeline, there really isn't anything. And I think that's by design. Invincible was created by myself and Corey Walker to be everything we've ever loved about superheroes poured into one thing. And I think that's why you can see how dense the world is, and you can see how dense the stories we tell are, and how there's, so many different characters. There's really not any kind of statement or story that we can't explore within the superhero context in Invincible. And, I think that's part of its charm, that any episode of Invincible, when you sit down to watch it, can feature literally almost anything and still be an invincible story.
Okay, Mr. Kirkman, in Invincible, every character has his backup story, and one of those stories is the Mark's mother. She's a very sad person in this second season. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I really have to give Sandra Oh credit. Not only is she, portraying Debbie Grayson exceptionally well, but in between seasons, when we sit down to map out Debbie's story, we're inspired by her performance, and we are haunted by her performance to a certain extent. We have to sit down and go, okay, we have to write something worthy of Sandra Oh. How are we going to do that? And so, just digging in and going, okay, like her husband has had this very public moment, and has completely abandoned her, and she's found that he's not the person that she thought that she was married to. We're really just trying to explore that as realistically as possible. And, Invincible is an animated series. It's about this superhero world, but Debbie Grayson is this human character at the center of it. And if you think about the pressures that she would be under, being a normal human being in the face of all of these, insane situations and crazy characters, she's really, kind of the heart and soul of the show. And so, we're really happy that you're, liking her storyline. And it is really sad, but hopefully it won't be sad forever. So stay tuned.
And Mr. Kirkman, in the last 10 or 20 years, everybody's loving the superhero stories, but maybe in this moment, the people loves more stories like Invincible or The Boys. Do you think the audience loves more this kind of characters, maybe more realistic?
Well, I'm hoping that people see Invincible as an enhancement or an evolution to the superhero genre, the same way that the comic was. The comic came around at a time when Marvel and DC's universes had been running for 30 or 60 years, depending on which one you're talking about. And now the television show is happening at a time when, we've had almost 20 years of these big, movie universes happening. And so, I'm trying to make Invincible feel like it's definitely a superhero thing, but it's not the kind of thing that you would necessarily expect. And so hopefully we're putting a fresh coat of paint on superheroes and adding something new and different and fresh and dynamic that audiences will be able to latch onto. But we're not doing it at the expense of superhero stories in general. We're trying to be we are trying to pay tribute to the superhero stories that came before. We're not trying to poke fun at them or in any way detract from them. We're trying to be additive.
Okay, Mr. Kirkman, one last question. Everybody loves when someone says, okay, this story, this comic book is going to be on the TV or in the big screen in the movies, but when they see that story in the big screen or in the TV, they say, oh my God, no, you broke my character. Do you think the fandom is a maybe difficult state or a difficult person?
No. I mean, I think it's different on a case by case thing. I think that historically, and I know this from experience, a lot of people have come in to adapt things and they've said, okay, this has a fan base and people seem to like it, but I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to come in and change it and make it work as a movie or make it work as a TV show. And they really do come at it with that mindset. I'm going to improve this dumb thing that somehow people like. And I think that's when you see the most failure in adaptations, because people don't seem to recognize that a thing is popular and is being adapted for a reason. And you need to recognize that. It's something that, I was really lucky enough to experience with The Walking Dead, where I was working with people that recognized that The Walking Dead was popular for a reason, and they were going to try and capture or recapture that magic as opposed to reinventing the wheel. And I think that the fan base can be particular, in general. Like there's certain things that they like and don't like, but also the fan base is very wide. And you can find completely different opinions in the same fan base if you look hard enough. But I don't think that there's some kind of deficiency in the fans that are being too nitpicky about certain things. I think that it's just sometimes people come at things, with this air of improving as opposed to enhancing and staying true to.
Okay, Mr. Kirkman, thank you very much. Greetings from Bogota, from Blue Radio, and thank you very much for being here these minutes with us.
Thank you. It's great talking to you both.